Today, we'll be taking a look at two new stereo receivers from Cambridge Audio, the AXR85 and the AXR100. While they have a lot in common, there are some differences, and hopefully this video will help you better understand which one is the best fit for your system. Ever since our first listening session with a piece of Cambridge Audio gear back in 2017, we have been just totally blown away by how much sound they are able to pack into very reasonably priced gear. Not only do their products sound great, but there's something about the way they reproduce music that just makes you happy when you're listening. As the name suggests, Cambridge Audio was started by some tech-oriented audio lovers at Cambridge University. The year was 1968, a time when England was putting out some of the best music in the world, and the first Cambridge Audio integrated amp totally embodied what was becoming known in the audio circles as classic British sound. While many audio companies were in a space race back then, most British companies focused more on the ultimate sound than designing to have the best on-paper specifications. The result was audio gear that gained a reputation of being very true to the music with a pure sound that was neither edgy or over-bass emphasized. The first Cambridge Audio integrated amplifier was the world's first to use a toroidal power transformer, and just about every product they have made since then uses this technology. Now, let's take a look at these two new models to help you determine the best choice for your system. If you want to read the full article on the AXR85 and AXR100, be sure to click the link in the description. That will take you to the full review on our site. Now, let's get started. I want to make a quick note that all of our shots you'll see in this video will be of the AXR85. But both models look almost identical, except for a few button labels and the addition of digital inputs on the back of the AXR100. But we'll be sure to show you those differences when we discuss them. Every single piece of Cambridge Audio equipment is designed and engineered at their facility in the UK. Cambridge has a very long-lasting relationship with an Asian manufacturer where all of their gear has been assembled for over 20 years, ensuring very consistent results. The AXR85 and AXR100 are part of their new series from Cambridge Audio called the AX series. AX replaces their long-standing, highly regarded Topaz series of gear. With recent introductions in the models ranging above the Topaz from Edge and CX, Cambridge Audio decided it was time to update their entire entry-level models with some of the great tech they developed when designing the new CX and Edge lineups. When you look at the AXR85 and the AXR100, they both look pretty much the same with the exception of the digital input selection buttons on the AXR100. Both have a super clean look with their brushed metal front panel with rounded corners and a very easy to interpret front panel. You'll find a curved piece near the front which helps isolate the unit from external vibrations, but at the same time makes it look like it's floating on a shelf. Everything has a very solid feel from the buttons to the nice volume knob. Flipping around to the back of the AXR85 or AXR100, you'll see something we don't normally find with receivers in this price range. Very nice speaker binding posts. Normally, you'll get those cheap push-pin connections for this price level, but Cambridge Audio gives you a connector that will make for a tight fit for your speaker cable. Overall, both of these units are exactly what we have come to expect from Cambridge Audio. They are made far better than you would think for this price range, and designed to make operation and setup a snap. The AXR85 or AXR100 fit the bill for someone looking to put together a great sounding two-channel stereo system for a reasonable price. Both models give you 3 analog inputs and a moving magnet phono stage input. One of our favorite phono preamps for the money is the Cambridge Audio Solo, and you can tell a lot of its great sound made it inside the AXR85 and AXR100. Cambridge Audio used to sell a separate Bluetooth adapter for their amps, but we find it very nice that they've included Bluetooth 5.0 with both of these receivers. This opens up the world of wireless music from your smartphone if you wish. The front panel gives you one more analog input in the form of a mini plug, and you'll find a full-size headphone jack on the front. Finally, since they are both stereo receivers, both units include a quite decent AM/FM tuner. If you're assembling an analog-only system, the AXR85 will give you everything you need. But if your choices for sources might include some digital feeds like a TV optical out or a music streamer's digital out, the AXR100 will give you 2 Toslink and 1 coax optical inputs. These are not afterthought DACs either, but high-end Wolfson models capable of handling high-res audio up to 192 kHz. And a nice touch, the menu button will bring up adjustments for bass, treble, and balance. You can also access this from a remote control, which will allow you to fine-tune things from your listening chair. The AXR85 and AXR100 both have a subwoofer output. While it's really great to see this on a stereo receiver, we do have a little bit of a gripe about how they implemented it. The crossover point is set to 200 Hz, which is a little high in our opinion. We would have preferred more adjustments like you would find on a home theater receiver, but we see most people using the subwoofer crossover anyway in that application. These units look pretty similar on the inside with the same great toroidal power transformer and discrete boards for the preamp and amp sections. The power supply section is on the far side with this massive and quite heavy toroidal transformer with the power amp section in the center and the preamp boards all isolated on the other side. We observed nice discrete output devices in the Class AB output section rather than the chips, and it's pretty impressive to see how well the units are laid out internally. The AXR100, of course, also adds a separate digital board. New products from Cambridge Audio have had a history of surprising us when we listened, so we are really anxious to test out these models. First, we thought we would try out the AXR85 on a pair of pretty decent speakers, so we grabbed a pair of Golden Ear Triton 7s to see how it could drive these floor standing speakers, which sell for roughly $1,600 a pair. From the very first notes, we could tell this receiver has much more juice than you would expect for under $400. The first track we played was Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi from her 2007 Shine album. If you know this cut, it has some lightly strummed guitars playing against some funky keyboard interludes with Joni Mitchell singing right in the center. On a great system, it has a rhythmic quality that will really get your toes tapping with everything comes together. You also get a really good sense of dynamic contrast from the guitars and the keyboards if the amp can properly drive the speakers. Needless to say, we were grinning ear to ear and tapping our toes to the music within seconds. Also, the separation and effortless feel to her voice was just fantastic. Going further down the nostalgic highway, we pulled out Baba O'Reilly from Who's Next. At about 1 minute in, when Keith Moon kicks in with the drums, you can tell the AXR85 could easily reproduce dynamics and hold up even when pushed pretty hard. Although at pretty extreme levels, we could tell it was running out of steam, where something like the bigger CXA81 would keep going. Next, we gave some vinyl a spin using a Project Debut Carbon and its Ortophone Red moving magnet cartridge. The AXR85 did very well here too, with a very quiet Phono preamp that does seem pretty similar to their Solo to our ears. When we tested the AXA35, we did notice it ran out of gas sooner than the AXR85 does, which in our mind makes the AXR85 an even better value. For just $50 more, you get more oomph and Bluetooth connectivity. And like the AXA35, we tested to see what happens when you turn the volume down really low. We have found many inexpensive amps or receivers do not have the linear volume controls, and you will lose one channel before the other one at extremely low levels. With the AXR85, the image was dead center until things went totally silent, a real testament to its volume tracking. For $400, the AXR85 just simply defies what you would expect to hear for the money. If you need digital inputs, just $100 more gets you the AXR100 with a slight boost in power with digital inputs for TV or streamers. We think if you are just sticking with analog and Bluetooth, the AXR85 is going to be very hard to beat. Many people just getting into the joys of hearing their music sound good on a better system will be looking at components in the price range of the AXR85 and AXR100. If good sound is at the top of your list, you really do not need to look any further. Couple one of these with something like the Paradigm Atom or Klipsch RP600M, and you will have a system that will make you smile for years to come. If you have any questions on either one of these receivers or any other home audio or home theater gear, be sure to give us a call, chat on our website with one of our audio experts, or stop into one of our Raleigh or Charlotte, North Carolina showrooms. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you can never miss the latest home audio and home theater content. We'll see you next time.